Alright, so today I'm going to put on the USB. This is what comes in the kit. It has this connector here. Got to figure out where that's going to go. And then I guess you can either hook it up to the battery, or you can do one of these plug deals right into your factory supplied outlet. This is normally where your, I guess on the other side on the motorcycle, it's actually tied into the harness on this bike for your battery charger. So this will direct connect to the battery. Tools, I've got out some wrenches, some ratchets, some sockets. Probably gonna need one of these guys for where the gauges are to pull that off. I got out 2 sets of dikes. I got a large dike and a small dike. Get over it, kids. Go back to your bubble world. And one Phillips head screwdriver. Not sure what the count on that is, but it's a fucking screwdriver. And this is the mount that we'll put on the bike, and I've done a review on this mount, so you guys have seen that before. So we'll go ahead and start taking pieces off. Okay, so the first piece you're going to want to take off is this guy right here. And that actually, this is your fuel system here for your, I want to say, now you know what? This is, I don't know what the fuck that is, but either way. I want to say this goes to the ABS. Yeah, that's the ABS module. And then, I'll show it to you. I'll take the camera off, but right here, there's a Phillips head screw. So right there is the screw that you're going to have to remove the battery box. Shut the damn garage door. I tell you, that wind is blowing today, and it is always cold. Never put screws in your mouth. You never know when you might swallow one, so don't do what I'm doing. And just lift it up, and there you go. There's your battery. I always like to put the pieces back in if I can. That way I don't lose them, because you're going to lose this on the garage floor, and it's going to be a bad day, and you're not going to find it. And then you're not going to be riding back to the dealer. You're going to be driving in your cage back to the dealer. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull this seat off. Basically, to pull this seat off, you're going to remove this. Your bike might have a screw. Mine has a fancy doodad I bought from Unknown Industries. And then you're going to put that back in right. And then you're going to lift the seat up and pull it straight back, just like this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to use a 3/16 Allen head. And we're going to remove this bolt, and this bolt. And then hopefully, this comes right off. And we'll see how that happens. Hopefully, that'll happen pretty simple. But you never know what the hell is going to happen doing this. I've never taken this off before, so I've seen other guys wire these and they're going underneath the tank, and I'm not so sure that's the right way or the wrong way to do it. I'm hoping to accomplish the cleanest way of doing it, and hopefully that works out. If not, you guys won't see this part of the video. Wow, this is a long honking bolt. And there's a washer there, so I'm gonna put that. Yep, and I dropped one, so, okay. I have to go hunt that. Okay, now that I've hunted down that washer that got away, it looks pretty open. I'll try and move the camera in a different position so you can see the underside of this. But basically, I'm gonna probably run my line right around this and down the trace. And I'm probably gonna, you can see that, I'm probably gonna tuck it in under there somehow and maybe fasten it with the zip tie to get it to that side. But I'm gonna lay all the wire out. The wire's real cold, so it's gonna be a little difficult to work with. So I'll probably unroll it, maybe take it in the house and let it warm up. That way it's pliable. So this is what it looks like. That's the other side that we just talked about, and that's where the wire is going to run through. And I think I'm going to try and utilize this tab right here and bring the USB twist plug in there. So I'm hoping there's enough room to do it there. I'm still not sure as far as the orientation of where the cell phone holder is going to go, whether I'm going to put it here, or I'm going to put it here, or I'm going to put it here. So that's going to come into play. Okay, so I'm still kind of figuring out how I'm going to run the wire. I did notice one thing that, and I'll pick the camera up. I think I'm going to run my wires right through this space here, which means I'm going to have to loosen this up, slide this bolt out. Kind of already looked at what this bolt size was, and this isn't standard. These are actually 13 millimeters. So to remove this, you're going to need a 13 millimeter shallow socket and an open end wrench to remove this. Okay, so I have removed that bolt there, and you just lift the tank up with your hand like that. I've gone ahead and I've zip tied it to this line here, and I've zip tied it there. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. It's not going to stay like that, but I'm just showing you guys the route that I'm taking. And then I went up and underneath, and I'm going to follow this line all the way up till I get to that right there, and that'll come right out, and then everything will come in reverse. Also went ahead and cleaned my baby up real good, shined her up real nice. Yeah, anyway, so that's the direction I'm going next. Ah, you motherfucker, you. Damn it, that ain't a fucking screw. That is a genuine hex head there. I was thinking that was going to be just a normal screw, but it's not, so I'm going to have to get another bit. Get up in now. There we go. And put the screw back in and tighten. Okay, so I've ran my wire through. I've gone ahead and put the gauge panel back on. I'll have to align the screws, put them back in, and tuck the wire real nice underneath. I'll probably take some black tubing I have just to kind of dress it up. That way I don't have those kind of red wires exposed. And I'll show you guys that when it's done. So right now it's doing everything backwards and bolting up the 3 bolts that come out of here that we took off. Okay, so now that's all. The tank is all buttoned up. Now it's time to connect your positive and your negative wire. And you can remove these with Phillips, or these looks like maybe 7/16 heads. I'm gonna go ahead and try it with a Phillips head and then reapply You want to make sure that when you go back on, your connections are tight. You don't want to over tighten them because these leads are made out of lead, and you can break them or strip them out. So you want to be careful with that. Wish me luck. By the way, these are 10 millimeter. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so the leads are hooked up, and negative's put on tight, positive is put on tight. I went ahead and put the fuse underneath of the banjo wrap there. Not sure if that's going to work out. I'll have to see how the actual cover goes back on to see if that's going to work. Damn, that motherfucker is tight. Ugh. Right on. Okay, so I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit to see exactly how I want that to fit. I'm not really liking how this is there. I might end up taking this back off and sliding this down to have this plug on the other side. That way I have somewhere to fasten this. So most likely I'm going to take this back off, but let's go ahead and see if at least we have power and see if it works. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed a iPhone cord, and hopefully this works. This should be hot. I shouldn't have to turn the bike on for this to work because it's directly connected to, let's see. All right, so it works. I have power, and that works. So now all I have to do is reroute this again, and then we'll start putting stuff back on the bike, and then we'll work on the telephone, the RAM mount. Okay guys, so I got to looking at this wire, and I'm not really happy with this being exposed like that. I'm really not happy that I can see that red, but I'm hoping that the seat's going to cover that up. So what I did is I got myself a little piece of this wire cover. I've got some left over from some car projects that I've done. So I just went ahead and kind of pre-measured it, bent it with the wire, and then I'll cover the wire up and then zip tie it and fasten it. You don't have to do this, but it's kind of nice, you know, highs wires. So, but just wanted to, guys, I went ahead and I took that last piece and I put it on and wire tied it there, and then wire tied it there, and that dressed it up a little bit. Looks a lot better than it did, and I'm pretty happy with that. So now to put the battery box back on and see if any of this shit even works. Okay, so I have the battery box back on. Went ahead and cleaned that up with all the fingerprints. Put the cover back on. Okay guys, just wanted to show you, I went ahead and dressed up this just like I did with the other part. Probably can't see that real well. There's not a whole lot of light there, but anyway, trust me, this is all covered up as well. So next it's on to mounting this somewhere, not really sure where that's going to mount, and onto the RAM mount. Okay guys, so I figured out where I wanted to mount my RAM mount, and I did it basically. That's a better shot, about right there. That's going to come into play when I put my gauge mount on the top, so I'll probably have to rework it somehow. So this project turned out pretty good. If I was going to say from a Lemmy, from Revzilla, on the amount of beards, for as far as difficulty, not very difficult. It took, I showed you the tools I used, and basically pretty much any hand tools are going to do this. You want to take your time, obviously, and think what your pattern is going to be. And like I said, the only thing I'm going to have to fix for here is getting a black charging cord, and probably throw another zip tie on there just to kind of keep it on the bike. And well, guys, I hope this helped you out if you're doing this for your Dyna. This is done on a Dyna Low S. You guys will be seeing me. You'll be seeing me do vlogs from this soon. So anyway, this is Knuckle Up Fight Club, where we don't talk about fighting because we're on probation.